What makes the farmer work all spring, toil all summer? His vision of the harvest. Without the ability to envision the fruitful outcome, he wouldn't bother putting the plow into the soil. If he couldn't picture the potential, the opportunity to convert hard work into profit, transforming wheat into money, and money into a desired lifestyle, why would he put the plow to the soil? The answer is, of course, why. If you can't see why labor, and if the promise isn't clear why, even try. You need to confidently start working in the spring. Farming is tough. You have to push the seeds into the ground. I think all of us would relate farming to hard work. Growing a plant is tough. You have to plant the seed, let it grow, and protect it from bugs and weeds. It's not an easy job, but it's a great example of life. If you want something good when it's time to harvest, you have to work hard, be brave, and go for it. The high life is not for the timid and the shy. This is one of the exciting things about being human experience, the ability to paint results in advance. We can call it borrowing from the future. One of the reasons for living is to borrow from the future. If you don't know what will happen in the future, today can feel really tough. Not being able to see the future makes it hard to know what to do. Why bother learning and working hard and going through all the challenges of growing and changing if you can't see what's coming next? Facing the challenge of not knowing what the future holds. This is one of our great challenges, to paint the future results in advance, borrowing from the future. But if you take a moment to think about it, that is a tremendous, unique experience. Being able to take something good from the future, bring it to now, and use it as motivation to get things done, to learn new things and put those skills to work. So painting results in advance, whether it's about making money or achieving a certain position. Most of what happens in your life begins with you. Mr. Shoaff shared a really important piece of advice that had a big impact on me. He says, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That straightforward comment began to bring noticeable improvements to my life quite quickly. I discovered up until age 25, I'd worked hard on my job, but not on myself. That's why I wasn't making much progress. Now we call this dealing in straight talk. We call this dealing in truth. Straight talk, tell it as it is and put it on the line. Meeting Mr. Shoaff when I was 25 was a really important experience for me. Mr. Shoaff only went to the 8th grade in school. So we kept things really simple when talking. But let me tell you what he did. He laid it on the line. He said, Mr. Rohn, if you're 25 years old and you've been to high school and 1 year of college, and you're not at least 1/3 of the way to your fortune, isn't something wrong? You know, I never thought about it that way, as being wrong. Then he explained, there's nothing wrong with the country, the companies, the banks, or the money. But there's something off with your plan. You're fine, but your way of thinking and your plan have a problem. You followed the wrong story, used the wrong formula. It's easy to be a good person, but end up with no money. You can be honest and still be poor. I'm telling you, if you go with the wrong plan, you might work hard but end up poor. You didn't add up the percentages. You never counted the cost, as an ancient phrase says. Now see, that kind of blunt, straight language really helped me figure out what was wrong. Imagine a father who's 40 and broke, living in America, finally discovers when his children say, Father, how come we're not rich? If he wants to be honest, he finally says, I'll tell you why. I spent it in small daily pieces. I smoked it and I didn't realize it would add up to a lot over the last 20 years. Honestly, I spent our money on things we didn't really need. Somehow they got to me with all the trinkets, and I didn't know what a price it was going to pay. I had a daze just before I met Mr. Shoaff, and I called it do not kid myself any more days. After 25 years, here's where I am, here's what I've got. There's no point Mickey Mousing with the numbers. There's no use trying to stretch it. There's no use trying to excuse it. There's no point in making excuses or pretending things are different. Let's be honest about it, because facing the truth is what starts the process of getting free. It's the truth that starts to relieve the mind of all the guilt and all the excuses and get right down to where it is. When I finally discovered that the government wasn't my problem, or prices, or the company, or company policy or my negative relatives, the weather, the economy, and the community weren't causing my issues. When I finally discovered it was me, we call that trauma. Now, after I had passed through the trauma of discovering that it was me and not all the other things I blamed for years, it hit me. Hey, if it's me, I can do something about it right away. And then I started getting excited after my trauma had passed. See, if it's the government, I don't give you much chance. If the issue is prices, I'm not very optimistic. If it involves other people, I don't see much of a chance for improvement because honestly, it's likely not going to change. It's going to be about like it's always been, right? Opportunity mixed with difficulty. If all those factors are likely to stay the same in the next few years, which I imagine they will, the only change that is really going to dramatically affect your life is you. Shoaff said to me, Mr. Rohn, if things aren't going well for you, don't ask what's wrong out there. Ask what's wrong in here. This principle has been ingrained in us since childhood, commonly known as the law of sowing and reaping. We've likely heard it so many times that we can recite it. The idea is straightforward. Whatever you sow, that's what you'll reap. Fairly blunt, hopefully clear. Here's my suggestion on the law of sowing and reaping. Don't try to beat it. You might as well try sitting on the sun in the morning. You'll have better luck. Simply put, you reap what you sow. For a significant part of my life, I was somewhat confused about how these principles applied among a lot of things I was mixed up on. I knew I wasn't reaping too good, that I understood. My problem was I was confused about what was causing it. Remember me with a funny blaming list. I thought those are the reasons why it isn't working out well for me. And then my teacher, Mr. Shoaff, gave me the clue that helped me figure it all out. He said, Mr. Rohn, I have another answer for you. There's another way to quote this law. Let me show you where the problem is so you can go to work on it right away. All you need to know is where the problem is. Then you can go to work on it. So he quoted me the law another way, and I discovered my problem was, here's the better way you quote the law. Whatever you reap is what you've sown. Now, I knew what my problem was. Whatever you reap is what you've sown. If you're dissatisfied with the yield, whom do you consult? The answer, whoever planted it. And where do you find who planted your crop? The answer in the mirror. What I learned to do come fall was to go to the mirror. That's where you need to go. And if necessary, you say a few skinny carrots. I find myself underwhelmed. Didn't you read the books? Where were you last spring? Did you break your hoe? Now we call this straight. This is talking straight. This is telling it like it is. I raised a straightforward question last night. Am I dedicating enough time to reading books? Will my current financial practices lead me towards the fortune I aspire to in the next 10 years, or will they not? If I maintain my current health habits, will I possess the vitality and well-being needed to accomplish all my desired activities 5 years from now? It's a straightforward question. Are my present practices aligning with my aspirations? Or have I been kidding myself for quite some time? Inevitably, we must all embrace the study of inevitability. Without kidding myself, if I keep up my current daily practices, where will I find myself in 10 years? Without being disillusioned, I don't want to just cross my fingers and walk the wrong track. I need to cultivate the skill of foreseeing the future, called inevitable. Wealth isn't solely derived from knowledge. It encompasses the fusion of knowledge with feelings, attitudes, and emotions, the powerful currents of sentiments and emotions. However, the crucial point is that our emotions require cultivation. It's essential to enroll our emotions in an educational journey. Civilization is referred to as the astute administration of human emotions, and the paramount skill lies in refining the accuracy of emotions, whether it's feelings, commitment, or passion for a cause, an occasion, or problem solving. Possessing the determination without the necessary capability doesn't lead to progress. Presently, we need both the well-educated and well-directed power. This encapsulates the essence of the ultimate art of persuasion, putting yourself into the picture. If you can express your feelings, emotions, beliefs, and strong beliefs clearly, and if you let those come out not just on the surface, but from deep within you, drawing from a lifetime of experiences, even if you have some doubts or don't know everything, and even if you approach it with humility, it's that genuine expression of emotion that ultimately seals the point in the final art of persuasion. When people have picked up the essence that you really believe and are committed to what you've been talking about, that's the reason you put everything on the line. It's why you used every quote available, articulated your thoughts as effectively as possible. That's why you told every story you could. That's why you used yourself front and center. It's all because you passionately believe in the present moment and what you're aiming to achieve in influencing someone else's decisions and impacting their life. Life is a challenge. What else is new in this challenge? It's so important to articulate the challenge, the press, the push, because the push is on. But that's what life is all about. Accepting the challenge, driving the roots deep inside, becoming as strong as possible, accepting everything that comes our way and making it into what you wish to make it. Giving your best effort, putting in your utmost, thinking wisely, staying well informed, living meaningfully, and facing the struggles. This is the challenge, but it's also what gives life its value. The struggle for high ideals, to make something unique and special out of your life. There's no better way to put it. I've got a good clue for you. Make sure what you do is the product of your own conclusion. Seek advice, but not orders. Let those around you be supportive, but then put that through your own mental computer and make sure your actions are the result of your conclusions based on all the input, developing rationality based on all the input. Here's a good watchword for the 21st century. Pay attention, recognize if you're heading down the same path as someone who settled for a mediocre life. Take a moment to ask yourself, is that truly what you want? If not, say no. Here's somebody that never read the books, avoided making changes, skipped a class, neglected to develop a skill, and they never learned it, and they never tried it, and they blame the government, blame taxes, blame society, blame circumstances, and all the rest. They don't know, and the crucial point is to be vigilant. Don't you fall into that same trap. Now consider this, be a selective listener. Don't just absorb information that won't matter in the long run. We all need a little humor, but not that much. Life is it's flourishing or mediocrity, it's success or failure, it's life or death. This is a serious matter. Therefore, ensure that what you choose to listen to offers a comprehensive spectrum, a well-balanced mix of positive and negative. Yes, but the negative also. We need to hear it from both sides. Here's what the early Christians were taught. Don't neglect the assembly. When there's an assembly, make an effort to attend because you can't predict which one might profoundly impact your life. You'll never be the same again, and you can't predict which gathering will be the transformative one. You just have to go like all of you. I know consistently go, consistently take notes, consistently go to seminars, consistently go to lectures, and all of the rest, because some of them will be life-changing. Perhaps this message will resonate with some of you. The words are right, the time is right, the ideas are right, the moment is here. We don't know. We simply show up as often as possible, immerse ourselves in as much language as we can, and see what that'll do for our sight and our ambition, our willingness to acquire skills, be a leader, influential. Here's an important lesson my teacher, Mr. Shoaff, shared when I was 25. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Stand guard at the door of your mind, and you have the power to decide what to pay attention to, what to ignore, and how much time to allocate to different things. But these tasks may not be easy, and many people are unwilling to embrace these additional disciplines. But I'm here to promise you that the treasure and the equity is so unique, and what small price is paid in these early disciplines is small compared to the treasure that accumulates as the days unfold, both for your mind and your heart and your purse. There's a profound Black heritage spiritual that goes like this. It's not my mother nor my father. It's not my brother nor my sister. It's me. What a revelation. Once you realize it's about you, you can embark on a new journey right now. You can start reading some new books today. You can sign up for some new classes today. You can start engaging in constructive thinking today and make decisions that can change your life. See, you don't ever have to be the same again after this evening, only by choice. And while you wait for prices to drop, and while you wait for the outside world to change, I would go to work on myself immediately and quickly on the refinement of my own thinking and the refinement of my own disciplines, and witness how swiftly the value of these improvements begins to increase. Let me share an age-old wisdom from the Bible, and here's what it says. If you work on your gifts, they will make room for you. If you practice your gifts, they will make a place for you. A place of influence, a place of leadership, a chance to impact others around you, to make a mark, to further an enterprise, to build a dream. Eventually, through diligent work on your gifts, you may be recognized as noble, receiving rewards beyond your current imagination, such as plaques and trophies to remember. Yet most importantly, you gain the gift of self-awareness, knowing that you did your best with what you had, the expansion of your mind and your heart and your soul and your touch and your reach and all the gifts that you possess. If you practice your gifts, they will make a place for you. And I can serve as a prime illustration of this principle. Look where my gifts have brought me. I was raised in obscurity, a little village in Idaho. And now I have the privilege of traveling globally. My gifts have led me to this very room. And what an experience it is for me to have a chance to touch you today. One of the challenging experiences in life is seeing what you can do to help someone else. And one of the greatest thrills, greatest joys is being able to infuse life into someone else's life. To finish, you have some meaningful challenges for you to ponder. Let everybody else cry over small hurts, but not you. Let other people lead small lives, but not you. Let everybody else argue over non-essentials, but not you. Focus on things that truly matter, the broader challenges and opportunities that await.